Hello everyone, I have got a brand new perfume. It's not even been released yet. I've got a sample of the latest Gallivant fragrance. It's being released on the 8th of May, but the lovely Nick has sent me a sample and I thought I would share it with you. So the sample is in here. We're going to smell that in just a second. I'm going to read you some stuff first. So the fragrance is called Nida, which is spelled N-I-D-A, and there's a picture of the bottle on the paper here. And as you can see, it's very pretty. It's got flowers on it, very nice, like that, because apparently it's a floral fragrance. So I won't read you everything here, but it says in here, for our summer 2024 dose of perfumed escapism, we're off to Nida, an artist's colony and summer retreat on the uniquely beautiful Curonian Spit, a UNESCO World Heritage Site off the amber-rich Baltic coastline of Lithuania. I had never heard of Nida. Now, the way that Nick describes it in his papers here, it really looks like somewhere I want to go. So it's going on the list. It's going on the travel list. I'm going to find out how to get there. I've been to Lithuania before, but I can't remember where the name of the place I went to. I had to have an operation, so it wasn't exactly for tourist reasons. The perfume, okay, we have the notes. A tea-infused floral amber in parfum concentration. Opening with mandarin, cardamom and incense. Heart notes, tea, lilac, jasmine, orris and a sunflower accord. I love the sound of the heart notes. The base is constructed around cedarwood, patchouli, moss, tolu, and a respectful nod to our Baltic location, a radiant amber accord. And the perfumer is, now I don't know if I'm going to be able to say this lady's name. It's spelled S-O-I-Z-I-C, that's her first name, Sozik Beaucourt. So that's the perfumer, and there's some information about her on here as well. She is an ISIPCA school trained perfumer and works at Euro Fragrance. Now to the bit that we all really care about. Let's test the fragrance. And this one, I don't think, from reading the notes, from reading the paperwork, I don't think this is going to come in a 30ml. It only mentions a 100ml and a travel size option. Let me just find it. Okay, 100ml limited, it's limited edition. 100ml limited edition parfum is £170, €199 or $230. The travel set is 2 8ml parfum vials and a map decorated travel case, £70, €80 or $95. Here is the sample, and we're going to go straight on my skin. I'm fresh from the shower, and so there's nothing here. I always check because sometimes you shower and the perfume you were wearing is still there, so I'm just checking. But here we go. Nida. I'm not breathing, I'm just going to let that alcohol settle a little, dissipate. Now I'm breathing. And I recognise it. I recognise it in terms of, yeah, it reminds me of Dior Homme. And I was only smelling Dior Homme yesterday. This is really nice. I love Dior Homme. Now I know Nick does not do copying or anything like that. It's not intentional. It's just that's what it reminds me of right now. It's not exactly the same, but it's really nice so far. So I say so far because obviously things change, base notes start to come through, and sometimes those base notes can be annoying depending whether you're me, depending on, you know, your tastes and stuff. So, but for now, this is lovely, and it's definitely unisex. It's not, despite having quite a lot of florals, because it reminds me of Dior Homme, I guess, it feels unisex. it's difficult to pick anything apart. You can kind of tell it's an iris perfume, and it has a little sweetness. Let's read these notes again. Oh, there was a tea note, wasn't there? Sometimes I don't really understand tea notes. This is something I've never really looked into. Is tea supposed to smell like a cup of tea? Or is it supposed to smell like tea leaves? Because obviously they're going to smell different. And oftentimes when a fragrance has a tea note, I find more often than not, I don't like it. But it doesn't completely rule it out of me liking it. But I can kind of imagine a cup of tea, like a cup of, maybe like a herbal tea, but quite smooth. Yeah, but you've got cardamom, and I can feel like a spiciness. The cardamom is present, but it's not dominating. It is adding a warm spice, but it isn't the main thing, which for me is good. Like, I don't mind a little bit of cardamom, but if it's overdosed, I don't love it. I felt the Iris Nida Hum vibe in the very opening. That feels like it's going away now, as a sort of woody, ambery things are coming through. So we've got lilac, jasmine, violet, orris, and sunflower accord. Oh, hang on, underneath there's this really nice sticky resin. What was the base here? Tolu, cedarwood, patchouli. There's something in the base that's reminding me of something else I really like. So it's making me think that it's almost like a little bit of a labdanum, which is not listed. And it's only very, very subtle. But yeah, a nice, I guess it could be an amber accord with labdanum in it. I don't find it that floral based on the floral notes listed. Iris itself, as I've explained in other videos, I don't see iris as a floral note because it doesn't smell like flowers. Iris, well, it kind of smells a bit violetty, but generally speaking for me, when I think floral, I think of the more, you know, flowers, petals, roses, jasmine, that kind of thing. And I think that the base notes are quite strong already, and so they're stopping the florals from being really full on and really noticeable. But the whole thing smells really nice. It smells nicely balanced. I guess for my personal taste, which is, I like things very floral, I would probably prefer the florals amped up and the base notes sort of damped down a little bit. Not that, and they're obviously not all the base notes coming through because we're only just a few minutes in, but I guess it's that woodiness, that just general woodiness that is, and mixing with the cardamom is like a spicy woodiness with a floral, some floral nuances. But it is nice. It is nice. I suppose what I want from Gallivant is a girly perfume, and I know that Nick wants to keep it unisex, and he's definitely achieved that here. I don't think anyone would say, I really think anyone could wear this 100%. And of course anyone can wear anything, but I think most people would be comfortable wearing it, no matter what's, you know, their own connotations, their own history, how they were brought up, what they think is male and feminine in perfume, all of that. I think that anyone would be comfortable to wear this. Although when I think of it a little more, I know my mum, when she detects too much woodiness, or when she detects a bit of woodiness in perfume, she will say, that's masculine, that smells masculine. So I suppose if woodiness in perfumes feels too masculine, then this might feel too masculine for you. I don't detect at this point anything that I would consider to be scratchy or annoying. So if there are any of those kind of aroma chemicals in here, they are nicely done and not overdone at this point. But I do enjoy this violety iris that's mixing in with everything, and something sort of clean, like it's not, there's no flower listed that fits this, but there's something that's a bit soapy clean in there. There's like a floral that's a bit soapy. Yeah, it's really nice. Am I in love with it? No, because I just want more florals. I just want all the flowers. But it's nice. And I can imagine a sunflower. I know we've got this sunflower accord, which of course I'm pretty sure there's no such thing as a sunflower essential oil. But I can picture a sunflower and imagine a field of hay and sunflowers. I can kind of get that feeling. So it's a little bit dry, it's a little bit powdery, just a touch powdery, but kind of warm. And it does make me think of springtime, meadows and trees, meadows and woods maybe, but nothing damp, mossy, dark green or anything like that. It's light. It's spring or summer, but a little bit of moisture in the air, and yeah, it's nice. I definitely get a little sweetness coming through, so maybe there's a touch of vanilla in the amber note, in the amber accord. Yeah, it does list a radiant amber accord, but I don't know with the Baltic coast, is the amber we're talking about the crystallized resin that's millions of years old, amber, like the actual amber like you can have in jewelry, or are we talking ambergris? I'm thinking it's probably the amber that is used in jewellery, because there's a radiant amber accord. In which case I would imagine that would have an entirely different smell. And I remember once reading about, because apparently you can't get a smell from it, but then I remember reading about a perfumer that managed to do that, somehow tinctured amber. I'm not quite sure how what he did, how he did it, but managed to sort of get the smell out of amber, as in jewellery amber. This is really nice. It's lightening up. I feel like the florals are actually blooming a little bit now, and they're rising above the woodsy note. Yeah, I'm interested to really get to know this, because it's so far it's really good and I like it. It's got this sort of musky earthiness about it, not like smelling earth, like, you know, digging up dirt and sniffing it, but there's something grounded about it that is almost earthy, or like maybe a little bit like petrichor, which I love, by the way. A little bit like petrichor, but not exactly. But you know, that sort of grounded scent. This could really grow on me. It's growing on me already. Yeah, it's really nicely balanced. I wouldn't really classify this. I mean, I know it's classified here as a floral amber, but it's not that ambery. It's not that sweet. It's only very, very lightly sweet and ambery. But it's pretty. and not in a, as I say, not in a girly way. It's just, it's an attractive smell. It's nice to smell it. It's got me thinking, and I think that's because it doesn't really smell like anything else. I've certainly, when I first sprayed it, straight out of the sprayer, I've immediately felt Dior Homme, but that didn't stick around very long at all. Although it still has, you know, traces of Dior Homme, a feel, a little bit of a feel of Dior Homme, but it's its own thing, 100%. It doesn't smell like anything else that I can think of at this moment. There's nothing I can really compare it to. It's unique, but it's very wearable and it's very likable. Yeah, I'd say the cardamon's fairly dominant. Not too dominant, but you can definitely smell it. But it's lovely with this iris, with these very light, gentle florals. It's just got this just musky hum feel about it. It's like, do you know what I mean? I don't know, do you? It's not a big shouty thing, which is great. I don't like big shouty things, that sometimes, but most of the time not. This is not big shouty. It's not screechy. It's classy, it's definitely classy. It's nicely done. And unique, yeah. Nothing right now I can really compare it to. And I think it's lovely. So that is my first impressions of Nida by Gallivant. Let me know if you get a chance to try it. Let me know in the comments what you think. That's all then. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye. So I'm just editing the video, and I wanted to add, I've now tried the perfume a couple of times. We're a couple of days later from when I filmed, and I have it on my hand now. And I just wanted to add a few things. That the dry down has something about it that reminds me of Soie Malachi from Vies Van Noten. It's the way it kind of, it's that, it might be the silk note in Dries Van Noten that sort of hums along and sort of never stops. It's like powdery, silky kind of note that's very prevalent in Dries Van Noten's Soie Malachi. I also get some nuances in the perfume that remind me of Marc Jacobs Decadence. Now, Marc Jacobs Decadence, I've always described it as smelling a little bit like rose and violet, sort of candy-like smell. That's nothing like the official notes, but that's what I always got from it. And I feel like I get something like that from this. I also think I might be getting some violet leaf. Now, there's definitely a violet note. Maybe there's violet leaf in here, maybe there's not, but I am getting something like that sort of more green and ozonic nuance that comes with violet leaf. And then I find the dry down really mostly this sort of iris, violet, powdery, woody scent, and I find it fairly linear. But bear in mind, I have only had it for a couple of days and it's just a little sample, but that's my thoughts on it at the moment.